This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
The price of the Sleepy Hollow fire was high. Millions of dollars in homes and property destroyed in one of Wenatchee's most expensive neighborhoods.
The Homeless Task Force of Grant County is hoping to keep its warming center open a month longer, along with extended hours. In conjunction with Fire Protection Week, October 7th through 13th, Grant County Fire District 3 and Adams County Fire District 5 are holding open houses.
Last weekend was packed with football games in the Columbia Basin with 7. Following that, we now have a rare occasion of no football games being played in the Columbia Basin.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News. And it starts now.
The price of the Sleepy Hollow fire was high. Millions of dollars in homes and property destroyed in one of Wenatchee's most expensive neighborhoods, and tens of millions more in warehouse space. Part of that price must be paid by Jeremy Kendall, the 40-year-old Wenatchee man who confessed to setting the fire that burned in June 2015. On Monday, a Chelan County judge ordered Kendall to pay nearly $10.6 million to insurance companies and individual property owners who claimed losses. 30 homes were destroyed in the Sleepy Hollow fire, most of them in the Broadview subdivision near the Wenatchee foothills. The claims against Kendall include about $10.5 million charged by 3 large insurance firms that paid out to homeowners. The rest is individual claims, including for vehicles that were destroyed or damaged. Kendall lives with severe mental health issues and said that at the time of the fire he experienced voices that were trying to control his body. He turned himself in to the Chelan County Sheriff's Office 9 months later and told deputies he set the fire on the shoulder of Sleepy Hollow Road with a cigarette lighter. After more than 2 years in jail or in psychiatric institutions, Kendall pleaded guilty last June to first-degree arson and apologized for the crime.
This is something I normally would never do. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for everything you lost. I'm sorry that this took place and did what it did to your lives. If I could take anything back, it's this. I'm so sorry.
He was released on DOC supervision. How he'll earn enough money to repay $10.6 million remains an open question. The court order does not specify a payment plan or how large the installments should be. Jefferson Robbins, iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by
Change doesn't have to be complicated. With a low-profile microwave hood combination that's ready to install right out of the box. It fits in the same space as your under-cabinet hood, so you can get your microwave off the countertop and make space for the routines worth keeping. The low-profile microwave hood combination from the #1 selling appliance brand in the USA.
Whirlpool Appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
The Homeless Task Force of Grant County is hoping to keep its warming center open a month longer, along with extended hours. The warming center will again be at a new location this year, moving to the former Ace Hardware building on West Broadway Avenue in Moses Lake. The center will open at its usual date of December 1st, and if necessary funds are raised, will remain open until March 31st. In the past, the warming center has been open from December through the end of February. Last winter, the warming center served 185 individuals, averaging about 31 each night. 75% of those served listed the towns of Grant County as their home, with the majority from Moses Lake. Task force organizers are also proposing additional opening hours from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. 7 days a week, and hiring staff to operate the warming center to help connect individuals to community resources. Expenses for 4 months of operations is estimated at about $60,000 for the building lease, supplies, and staff costs. To date, the task force has raised about $20,000, with the annual Sleep on the Street fundraiser returning Thursday, October 25th. Donations to operate the warming center can be made on the Columbia Basin Foundation website at columbiabasinfoundation.org. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by
Your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
In conjunction with Fire Protection Week, October 7th through 13th, Grant County Fire District 3 and Adams County Fire District 5 are holding open houses. The State Fire Marshal's Office is joining forces with the National Fire Protection Association during Fire Prevention Week to educate the public about basic but essential ways to quickly and safely escape a house fire. Deputy State Fire Marshal Kevin Hoff says while the number of house fires has declined, there's been an increase in injuries and deaths in recent decades. Hoff says today's homes and buildings can burn faster than ever, and families can have as little as 1 to 2 minutes to escape safely from their home. Fire prevention safety tips from the State Fire Marshal's office include looking for places fires can start, including identifying electrical and fire hazards in your home, listening for the sound of a smoke alarm and making sure smoke alarms are installed in all sleeping areas and on every level of a home, and learning 2 ways to get out of every room, including drawing a map of your home with all family members and practicing your evacuation plan. Grant County Fire District 3 is hosting an open house from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. on October 9th at the fire station on Central Avenue South, and a second open house October 11th from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at 101 Richmond Avenue in George. Adams County Fire District 5 is holding an open house on October 18th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the station located at 220 South Broadway Avenue in Othello. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
Last weekend was packed with football games in the Columbia Basin with 7. Following that, we now have a rare occasion of no football games being played in the Columbia Basin this weekend. Despite there being no home games in the basin, there are still several games in neighboring areas that will be worth watching. Othello goes to Ellensburg in a game that will decide the CWAC North. If Othello wins this week and Ellensburg and Ephrata win next week, then they're locked in a 3-way tie for first place, and a play-in will determine postseason fates. Othello loses, and it's game over. No matter what happens next week, Ellensburg and Ephrata are headed to the league championship. Warden will travel down to Connell and play an important game. Connell is still licking its wounds following a beating by Royal, and Warden will want to take advantage of that. If Warden wins, then it holds a chance to finish as the number 2 seed in the conference, which would launch Warden's odds of making the state tournament significantly. While there are no home games this week, next week we'll be back in full swing with 6. I'm Adam Chikoski for iFIBER 1 Sports.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.